of you may be wondering where and what I have been doing for the past 5 years or so. In this video, I'll attempt to explain a little bit of what has been going on with me so that you may be able to understand why I was long gone. To begin with, I lost access to my account due to forgetting my password, and unfortunately am unable to recover the original xkcdhatguy channel. For some apparent reason, there have been people making fake accounts under my name all over the web, and I just wanted to state that I do not have any social media accounts other than the original xkcdhatguy, which was lost, this one, and the SoundCloud under the name xkcdhatguy, which I put on private because I want to focus on making content here. On another note, I've wanted to clarify something that is personal to me and seems to be debated often in the comments. I am autistic. I have had Asperger's syndrome since I was 5 years old, and it's not something that I am ashamed of telling the world because it's led to the development of whom I've become today. Me growing up with the ideals I hold has been really difficult. I started to realize sometime after the Fourth Dimension video was made that typical life and career path was not for me because I simply didn't want the same things most people wanted. Sometime after I graduated high school, health became a huge part of my life, and I began to study alternative medicine and even work at a store that specialized in it. I began to prioritize well-being in the form of eating totally healthy food and meditating rather than money, and ended up dropping out of college before the completion of my first semester because I just felt like it was an exercise in conformism, and I didn't want a lifestyle where the pursuit of money was the main reason I got up in the morning. I feel like I was trying to use alternative health in order to compensate and alleviate the loneliness and depression that encompassed me and the high levels of anxiety I had to cope with every day as an autistic person. So that's what I turned to and I focused on as a way to blur out the thoughts and negativity from the world away and all of the social pressure put on me to suddenly figure things out when I could barely get my own thoughts together at the time. I became directionless for a while, moving out of my parents' house because they weren't supportive of my lifestyle and didn't understand what I was going through at the time. Became extremely isolated, focused almost exclusively on spiritual development, which led me eventually towards the gradual development of schizoaffective disorder, which, in my opinion, is not exactly a disability as much as a differently abled condition where one is highly sensitized to spiritual phenomena, and if its recipient is not self-actualized, can lead to life-consuming delusions. I'm telling you this in good faith that you do not judge my beliefs more harshly, because I have, in my mind, applied a great deal of rigor to them. Because of this very intense condition and sometimes unstable state that I live in, I can no longer work and instead receive disability. Despite this, I find that minimalism suits me, and I am mostly happy with the way that things are thanks to my beautiful wife, who found me 4 years ago through a small blog I used to write. We bonded over the fact that she shares a lot of similar sentiments about society as I do. She's an empath and was able to pull me out of a very dark place in my life. She actually fought for me to seek help and get medicated for my conditions, which improved my control over my emotions and mental state immensely, and now I have more clarity and emotional health in my life. She is definitely one of the greatest blessings that has come into my life, along with our cats, who we love very much. I've gained a lot of weight, but to me it's an improvement because I feel much happier being overweight than extremely underweight, as I used to be, being 132 pounds while being 6'5". Personal belief is that there's nothing wrong with my weight because my choice of lifestyle is a very sedentary one, and that's not something I want to change. So It's merely an adaptation, and more importantly, I love myself more than I'm going to let other people's expectations influence me. Most of my life, since I've completed my Ultimate Health Theory, which took years of revisions, I've just been focused on spiritual development, which I'll talk about in another video, which brings me all the fulfillment I need. The only real goal I have in life is to help people realize the truth about what a toxic world we live in and how we can change it and ourselves for the better. I hope that in sharing a little piece of my story, it can help someone who may be struggling the way I was when I was younger, and even encourage them to seek out help if they need it. I feel like, in a way, the most defining part of my life has been how much I've been ostracized by other people, simply for having unorthodox opinions. It may be true that I've allowed my intense feelings about topics of a political nature to distract me from things like normal small talk and socialization, but I've always had a strong urge to free people, not just from institutions that no longer serve us, but from all the bondages that the status quo imposes on us and makes it harder to be our own deepest and most authentic selves. So while I can make these videos and make my message public, it often feels like it's impossible to reach people at the deeper interpersonal level where they actually feel compelled by my message and what my motivations are. Sometimes I am amazed that any of you agree with me, because I've never been able to convince my friends or family of anything throughout the years, and anytime I've tried to directly reach out to people online, I've been met with hostility. I think people mostly believe what they believe to better suit whatever lifestyle they've chosen as a method of avoiding guilt, not of logical deduction as a result of what I've experienced with people. Perhaps this YouTube channel will be a guide to someone the way I wish I had had one when I was alone facing demons during my adolescence. And I hope this video shed some light on some of your questions about me and where I've been this whole time.